Hi class, I wanted to give you some video feedback. What you'll do is you'll duplicate your site, then you'll implement your changes. Do take notes on your feedback because you will be submitting a bulleted list in week 4 with your revision, all right? I'm going to just look at these as a first-time site visitor, even if I've looked at them. I'm going to go through functionality and let you see how things are operating, and I'll give you the comments, all right? Okay, Adam. Nice. We see exactly what you do here. I'm curious if I go to another page if what you do is going to be also at the top. Let's see. Super nice. I did look at some of the things. Really good work. It's always great. It's not essential, but it's always great if you can have the same number of rows, same number of lines in your descriptions, right? Very nice. And let's see. Okay. This is a picture of words, so hopefully none of this is important because none of it will come up in a search for any of these things. Off-Broadway, tours, theater, education, none of these things will come up in a search because it's just a picture of words. So you're better off entering some of the highlights, okay? Okay. Make sure we align. If you have this much space to the left here, then make sure it's the same. Okay, you want to, okay, you have the same here, and that's good. Same format here. Probably could bring them closer together though. And you're going to use the same amount of spacing underneath the image and the content. So you're consistent here and here. You're going to have a little more there to be consistent with these. Probably bring these up a little. Yeah, so like this is pretty good. That's pretty good spacing. Even if it's an indent just a little the way it is, that's fine. And so it is the same here and here, and the same here. So it's just a matter of deciding where you want to have your images aligned. So this would move over a little. Yeah, probably bring that over a little. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. This probably doesn't need to be so deep, this footer down here. You probably can reduce that just a little. Nice headshot. And, okay. All right. Everything consistent text. Now, I wasn't able to see your mobile. When I go to it, it won't refresh. So double check and see if you can resend your Get Feedback link. And what you want to do is create a new one. It only lasts for 2 weeks, so not sure what happened unless maybe you submitted early. But try that again so that I can take a look at the mobile. Don't want you to lose points for that. All right. All right. Great job. Very little to be done. Let's see. Okay, Sarah. I show you the mobile first because a lot of designers will begin with designing the mobile, and that's not a bad idea. We usually create the desktop and then we come back and make some edits. It's a little easier to work, but that's where we are. This looks good, except back here you can see your name is cut off. But let's look at your desktop. Okay. I'm feeling that this purple, it stands out, and that's great. The contrast is there. Just not sure it's blending with your aesthetic. So I'm thinking a bright gray, maybe gray and white, but purely up to you. It's just you have this, elegant color scheme going on. This, a little harder to do this because what you've done, you're trying to put multiple skills on the same website. And that doesn't usually work out. It's very tricky. So what you can do is say cinematographer, content creator for realtors. But you've got realtor, cinematographer, marketing specialist. Those are not the same thing. And content creator. Each of these would be their own website. All right, so you're going to have to make a choice. You could say realtor video marketing. That would be fine. So you don't have to use that. If you don't want to be boxed in, you can create a blog with your site. And in your blog, you can have a variety of content that you create, but it'll be nice and framed inside something that is more of a container. And you have the opportunity to explain what everything is in your blog page. But you'll need to decide, are you a cinematographer or are you a video marketing for realtors, or are you a realtor? Because they're not the same. Your video marketing is one site. It could be cinematographer and video marketing, but your realtor is completely different. I hope that makes some sense. They just don't work on the same site. It confuses the user, okay? People want to buy a home from someone who is, a specialist and focusing on real estate. Even if you do have, your hands in other things, you don't show that to your client. Not if you want them to contact you for something very seriously. So right now we don't know, do we contact her? Does she spend most of her time as a cinematographer or a realtor? And so you've got to, this is just two sites, okay? Unless you are strictly video for realtors, and that's specializing, and that's fine. But the layout is fine. This is good. Let's see. Good, you've got this pinned. You could try one of these colors, one of the golds, oranges up here, peach. That would work well. Let's reduce the size of this footer. Okay. You could say real estate cinematographer or real estate videographer, which would be more like it as far as your tagline. Okay. But what you would have to show in that case would be examples of that. So this looks to be a photo. And this is a marketing strategy. We want to make sure it is not cut off like that. And okay, let's see. Yeah, we want all of this to be up here without having to scroll down for it, and no cropping of important parts, okay? Also, this, you'll need to have a description. Did you take this photo? We need to know your role in every work that is here. If you are interested in real estate video, you need to start producing examples of that, okay? But these, you need to make sure when they open they're not cropped, and you need to have a description of what they are and how they relate to you. Something very brief, okay? And yeah, you're going to have to make a decision. Your name will go up here in the header, so it'll be on every page and what you do. Okay, avoid cropping thumbnails. And let's delete the login. So now I'm kind of lost here. I can't go back without hitting the back button. So take that login out. And what we need is a plain form here, a contact form here. All right, and your email and your social media icons. All right. Okay, so that is there, but it needs to be reversed on that page, color-wise. Okay. All right. So 2 main things, and that is how you're showing your work as far as cropping. And if this is the work you're showing, then this is what you're going to focus on. Or you're going to have to make new examples. So you might be a marketing specialist based on what you're showing us. The photos, the last photo might not be related, okay? This might not be related to this. Okay, so make a decision and narrow things, okay? All right, you'll know how to make a site, and you'll be able to make a second one when you graduate or in a portfolio class, okay? All right. Okay, Azaria. Let's see. Let's link up to yours. These are to Wix. Let's reduce the footer and make this just say subscribe instead of how to. And so contact goes to the end. That's where users expect to find it. And again, those need to link just the right amount of content. All caps if that's what you're doing. Make this one the same. Great photo. All right. Now, we don't expect you to have a lot of work examples. You probably have some schoolwork by now, but we do want you to make sure at this time that your portfolio represents whatever it is you're using at the moment for your skill. Okay, so here we've got to definitely remove the background. That's a template. So you're going to select, change the background, and you're going to select a solid color, and the color you choose to make it disappear is just white. Okay. So these look like photos. Change the name of your files. So when we scroll over it, we don't see screenshot. Taking all that out. Okay. I hope you did take this because people need those all the time. But what we want to say is, photographer, this may be what you want to do, but if we don't have that and we're not linked to YouTube here, then what we see is photography. So that's what you would put here, and as you decide what direction you want to go in, then you will replace these examples with your new work, making sure it matches whatever you have as your skill set. Okay? All right. And I'm not sure this one is working either. So if you would, create a new Get Feedback link. Some are working today and some aren't. I'm not sure why, unless some were created early. Okay, so please do that so points aren't lost. Trevor, this image is coming up really slow. It didn't just now, but that's because it's already loaded in my browser, but it's coming up really slow, so you'll want to simplify that. I love this painterly background, just love it. The image is great, it's just a little too large. Color's awesome. Okay. The background is still there on the template, so select background change it to a solid color, choose white for your solid color. Okay. Nice. Okay. A little space here between the navigation and this, your name and what you do. The background on every page, I want to make sure it's removed. Okay. You can consider hierarchy, that is, maybe your project title is going to be larger or bolder or all caps or something. This is a good font to use. We want to make sure we're only using 2 fonts. Okay. All right. Let's see if we still have your mobile. Good. So you can see the name is covering the image, so we need to work on that. Bring probably this would go up here, or just remove it in this situation. See if you can't fit cinematography on this line. Yeah. I think you need some hierarchy up here too. So maybe your name is in all caps, maybe Kentucky Base is in all caps, or let's see, or bolded. So when I click on this, what I'm looking for is a description underneath each of these, like you have in your. Also want to make sure, now unless I accidentally hit that, you want to make sure that the user has the opportunity to select whether it plays or not. So it won't start playing when they first land on it. We don't know where they're going to be when they land on your site. They could be in a meeting somewhere and they don't intend, to have audio out, but we just don't know. So we always let the user control that. Good font. You could even use this font up here. And perhaps you do thin out the mobile. Maybe if this works on desktop, you don't have to have it on mobile. Anything you do on desktop will affect your mobile, but what you edit in mobile will not affect your desktop. Okay. All right. Great job. Great job. Let's look at one more. And Avery, let's see. Okay. If this is capital and this is capitalized, then these want to be capitalized too. Now you're talking about immersive visuals. So think about that. That is a stock image. We do, if you're a cinematographer, your clients will want to see your work. Those need to be linked up. Either this page is either linked to a page that has a very large file on it that's not loading, but I think it's not linked to anything. So let's take all of this out. It's a lot of scrolling. So make sure there's no placeholder content anywhere. This is a placeholder image. You want to get rid of that. So all the content has to be corrected, and we don't have a contact form, and that's what you need on this page, where they can contact you. This doesn't really contact you. It just puts them on a subscription list. They can't contact you and ask a question. Okay. All right, so when you like to have multiple skills, this is a good way to sort of do this. It's a little bit like a blog. It's separated nicely, and you're telling them exactly what it is. But photography and cinematography are adjacent. They work well together. You can put those on the same site. Okay. Move contact to the end. And I would edit this just a couple of lines and separate to have a couple more paragraphs, or separate it into paragraphs, break it up. Close up all that space. You don't need most of this, but definitely close up any gaps and delete the login. Okay, you just select it and delete it. All right, so you can see you don't need this. So this isn't wrapping very well, right? So you want to check that. Remove this on the mobile. Make sure your contact is last with your form. Sometimes the easiest thing to do is just to select the plus icon in Wix and add a new contact page that has a form, and then delete this one. Yep, so capitalize this one like the others, be consistent throughout. And yeah, all right. All right, so make sure everybody makes a note of all of the details, the feedback that you received. You will be submitting a bulleted list when you submit your revisions. So go through the feedback, take notes, notice what other people did, or what you can learn from that. All right, everybody, great job. These are great draft sites, and I'm looking forward to your finishes.